You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Today on your Loose Women Live, it's Kay Adams, Jane Moore, Sunetra Sarkar, and Nadia Sawalha.
Hello and welcome to your fifth and final Loose Women of the Week. Coming up, the great grandparent debate.
I wanted to have a baby because I wanted him to be around to know my child.
Oh, after Jack Whitehall revealed the pressure that he felt to give his dad grandchildren, we're asking, is it okay to ask your kids to have kids? Also today, how dirty are you? No need to ask this panel, I can tell you. It is confession time as we reveal our dirty little secrets. And she is the really wild presenter who has managed to make bird watching cool, and anoraks for that matter. Michaela Strachan joins us ahead of the return of Springwatch. And there, the ant and dec of the natural world. Springwatch star Michaela Strachan looks back at 30 years on screen with Chris Packham. Sunetra, it is absolutely lovely to have you back. And can I say, on your Eurovision contribution, 12 points.
Oh, we were so chuffed for you. And in your hometown.
Oh, you were so chuffed. I was so chuffed. I mean, I think I just hit that Venn diagram spot where they were like, Liverpool, over 40s woman. No. I mean, I just felt like I hit jackpot. It's me, Liverpool, Eurovision, once in a lifetime. And I was like, I'd love to do this. And it was so new for me to be in a space like that. Because Eurovision has got a whole gig to itself. Like it's a bubble of amazing. I mean, there's so much love, but you've got to be a big fan, you know, to be part of it. So for me to be like parachuted in to do a little bit of we're welcoming you to Liverpool was just great. I mean, the city was electric. I have to say, we as a country did really well in hosting such a massive event that, you know, we probably don't all tune into every year, and I think we should do as of now because we did such a good job.
But just for you as a presenting gig, I mean, remembering all these different countries, you know, all the different names, I mean, that was
And I had somebody in my ear. The crowd was so loud I couldn't even hear what these people were asking me, and I'm going, hello, Germany, and I think, are they saying, ask him about ABBA? Is it true you love ABBA? No, we don't love ABBA. Oh, no, and they go, that's Norway. I was like, oh, no way.
Norway loves ABBA.
Yeah, I think I'm getting Norway and Norway mixed up.
Amazing moment because you were like on the top of the building and when your mum's name went.
Yeah, so they were doing this concert to welcome the Eurovision contestants, and they did this powerful women's section, and there were some amazing women from Liverpool, Sue Johnston, Beth, the gymnast, that wonderful gymnast, and then my mum's name popped up. Beth Tweddle, that was it. Oh, is that your And then my mum's name popped up, and I was standing on the roof, and I was like, that's my mum's name.
And why was her name there?
Because she got, oh, look at me on the roof. Because she's got her MBE for bringing lots of amazing art and dance to Liverpool and the city.
Was that quite emotional between the two of you then?
Yeah, it was a bit emotional, especially for Eurovision, of all things, to bring a mother and daughter together on screen.
Oh,
it's
I
like,
love
this
that.
is the last thing I'd have expected. So, yeah, Eurovision, the surprise that keeps on giving.
I know, it does. Well, we all caught up together last night, of course, over dinner. And Nadia, I've got a confession to make.
What?
I've been unfaithful. It's like with Jane
For the
last
second
night.
time. Time in a fortnight.
Yeah, I know. But you'll be pleased to know I'm still not going naked with her.
Did she not go naked? Did she not? She said
So it's only me you go naked with?
Only you. Yeah.
I don't quite know how I feel.
I mean,
If I'm honest, I didn't notice.
So what was she wearing?
not naked.
Well, I don't know. I didn't. She said she wore a dressing gown, but I didn't even notice. I think I'd turned over and gone to sleep.
I wonder if everyone knows what we're talking about. We just suddenly know the lady at the back going, what are they talking about?
If you're regular viewers, you'll know that Kay has this habit of sleeping naked. Whenever I share a bed with
Well,
her.
and you two have a habit of bunking over in my room whenever you want to have a late night and, you know, a late morning.
Very true.
Can we just get that out of the way, et cetera? No, it was a dressing gown last night, and oh my goodness, I was sweating like goodness what. But I just thought, I can't do this to Jane, not yet. But
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Third time lucky.
She'll suddenly just whip it off, honestly.
What are you going to say then? I swear I wouldn't notice. I literally wouldn't
That's
notice.
not a compliment, you know. You're gonna say, I wouldn't notice if you were naked or if you had clothes on, basically.
No, I was very respectful of you.
I
When
stay in my lane.
I know. I got up and had my shower. I was very
Oh,
quiet.
can we just talk about that?
Why?
You were in the shower for 4 weeks.
It was so funny, because she came downstairs this morning, because at the hotel opposite, she went, what, like I would know, what does she do in that shower? I went, I don't know. She goes, I mean, seriously, what is she doing in there?
Listen, it's somebody else's hot water. I'm
Oh,
just
doesn't allow it at home.
Take the girl out of Glasgow.
Hours you were in there.
No, I'm a very hygienic person.
I can't stay in the shower for that long. I try to put music on and go, oh, I'm going to have an enjoyable shower, and then I can't even finish a whole song, and I'm out.
Oh,
I mean, it's literally like da-da, 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 out.
Oh, Jane.
Oh, you are mucky.
There was zero need for that one.
She did it to let you know she's clean, because you're going to start talking about how dirty we all are in a minute.
I am. This is a new survey that has just come out that has unearthed the UK's dirtiest little secrets. So drinking from unwashed mugs, don't see any problem with that. Re-wearing worn undies. Well, not somebody else's. And letting filthy dishes pile up. They have topped the list. So,
Didn't know that.
well, the thing is, Jane, I think when you get to our age, we're used to filth, aren't they? I mean, we only used to wash
There's
once a
nothing
week,
wrong with a
didn't we?
bit of filth. I think it
I love a
builds
bit of
up your
filth.
immune system. I think
Yeah.
some people are
100%.
so fanatical about a little bit of dirt,
Yeah.
and then they're always ill. And you think there's a reason for that. But I don't like... I'm thinking now, I'm not fond on anyone that picks their feet in front of you. You know when you're just sitting and people are talking to you and you think, what are they doing? And then you suddenly realise they're just sort of like picking their toes.
I've got
Me
a- I've
and
got a
Kate sometimes
confession
do
to
that
make.
together, don't we?
Get a room!
And we both know we're doing it, and we both ignore it, and we just go...
It is that kind of, you know, friendship barrier thing, isn't it? And there's some friends that you
She
can
never
pick
does it
feet
naked
together.
with me, though.
Yeah.
She's usually got your clothes on when you're picking your feet.
Oh, the thought of that.
Oh, my God. You're going to be telling me you share toothbrushes next?
Well, next. No, but I have actually got a friend. I hope he's not watching it. I go to his house quite a lot. We sit and watch the telly, and I sit and pick my feet. And I know I'm doing it, and I know it's on his couch.
Compulsive
And I
behaviour.
know that he's looking at me thinking,
Please
I want
stop.
to kill you. And I think I really should stop. This is really, really annoying, but I can't.
And do you also, some people, you know, the clippers, they sit there, clip it, and then and they're going off like that.
Oh, no.
You're thinking, where's that? Where
No.
has that gone?
Ian does
I'm never
that.
going to find that.
Ian does that, I have
that's
to say.
disgusting.
That is his dirty habit. That is definitely
disgusting.
Ian's dirty habit. Have you got no dirty habit?
I've got loads of dirty habits, but not
No,
like
don't sit
these.
there like
Listen-
Mrs. Butter with
but
a tilt in my
listen,
mouth.
I mean, listen, I was a student. If only you knew that we used to leave our washing piled up, go off for half term, and come back and we go, oh, no one.
Why are there mice
there was
everywhere?
No rota. There was like fungus growing out the saucepans and like tea with mould falling out. So I have had my phase, but I feel like that is what it was, a phase when you can be like slightly carefree, don't have that many responsibilities, but then you get grown up, don't you? And you have to start cleaning up and teaching your kids not to pick their feet to the sofa.
I know, but it's kind of come round full circle, hasn't it? Because you're really big on this, Nadia. I mean,
Yeah.
my kids are much cleaner than I am because I think the new generation is obsessed with hygiene. But now we're talking about the gut and healthy bacteria and maybe the fact that we are getting too clean and we've become too kind of sterile almost, haven't we? I mean,
Well,
it's your thing.
as you know, I've become so fascinated by the gut. There's loads of...
It happens at your age.
But there's so many interesting science-backed papers out there, and me and the family have all had the Zoe test. You know, when you have the full... Have you heard about this? Where they do a full test through your poop, through your blood, and they tell you all the good and bad bacteria that you've got in your gut. This plays a huge part in all kinds of your health. Anyway, so me and my sister Dina are really, really competitive. We think we've got the best gut in the world. And then we're always nagging Mark. Anyway, he came back with this particular microbiome that is, like, amazing to have. And
What is a
believe...
microbiome?
Well, microbiome are all the little... if you think of your gut as a garden, and it's all the
the
sort
little
of...
the little bits
all the
that
little
go
things,
like
and you
that.
have to feed them, because then that's like the root.
I'm visualising your garden down there and I don't like it.
Not much of a garden anymore. Anyway, so postmenopausal.
No need for clippers.
Postmenopausal. But anyway, so my sister and I became obsessed that Mark's got this bacteria that we haven't got. So we were trying to work out how we would get it.
I want that bacteria.
You want it. You've
Yeah.
probably got it.
You've
You'll
probably
never...
got it.
Yeah.
You
But anyway,
never get ill.
So we got to the point, because obviously...
I've
have
got
you
a
heard
horrible
about-
feeling that I know where this is going.
Have you heard about fecal...
Oh, I knew
What's
it.
it called? Transplants.
Yeah.
But these are used for very serious conditions where you've got real serious problems with your
Okay.
gut, and you can take somebody with a healthy gut and
So
implant
basically, we're
poo.
transferring poo.
Yes.
Injecting it.
So we were
But
talking
with all
about...
the good
We were
bacteria in
laughing, yeah, and me and my sister were trying to work out how we could get Mark's without him knowing. And they were like, can we put it in a capsule? How much would we need? This is how obsessed we are with health. What about if we put it in a capsule? And my daughters were just like, are you serious?
I want to have that
yeah.
test now.
Yeah.
We need more
To be
Mark.
honest, that's what the audience is thinking as well. We better go to it. I'm just wondering if there's anyone out there called Fecal Matter. There probably is. If you're out there,
Imagine if there's
do
somebody
get in touch.
watching this now and they're in labour. They go, there we go.
It's a good name.
Hang on, if they work all that, do you not think their life has already been made hell? And we're asking, is there anyone out there called Fecal Matter? Please call us and let us come on the show.
One of these things. One of these things. Lots more big debates to come, including, is it ever okay to ask your adult kids to have kids? And it's controversial, but would you go as far as buying your Tina fertility test? And after the break, do you need a death declutter? We'll be explaining exactly what it is and why lots of people, including us, will be doing one soon. See you soon. Welcome back. Still to come, Springwatch star Michaela Strachan will be here later, and two big debates. Would you talk to your teen about their fertility? And controversially, would you even buy your teen a fertility test? Also, is the key to a happy relationship teasing your partner every single day? Find out which one of us thinks so. But first, it is competition time. Your chance to win £110,000 in tax-free cash. Jean Johansson has all the details.
Hello from the Cowal Peninsula on the west coast of Scotland. Isn't it stunning? The sun is shining, and I've got details of a life-changing prize you're going to want to get your hands on. This week you have another chance to win an enormous £110,000 in totally tax-free cash, which could be in your account in time for summer. It's also the perfect time for some me time. I'm at the outdoor pools at Portavadie Hotel, and trust me, with £110,000 worth of cash in your bank account, you too can treat yourself to some of the finer things in life. With £110,000 of cash in the bank, you can definitely afford to put your feet up for a while and really enjoy your summer. Oh, thank you. It takes seconds to enter. Here's the details of how you can get involved. Oh, cheers. For another chance to win, text cash to 88333. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 783333. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY18 PO Box 7 558 Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 9th of June at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, bank holidays are always a good time for a trip to the car boot sale or an excuse for having a good old sort out. But have you considered a death declutter? Now, I know it sounds a wee bit morbid, but it is actually quite common in Scandinavia. So the idea, obviously, is that you sort through your possessions in order to make it easier for our loved ones to do it. And Jane and I are like 100% here for this, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it's
mean,
a really good idea.
Yeah, I would like nothing more than to get a flamethrower and go round my house and go, just all the stuff that you've got. And
Yeah.
like, having been through it, sort of cleaning out my mum and dad's house, I don't want to leave that for my kids.
No, I mean, because we're selling our house at the moment, and so literally the other day I opened the attic and it was like, oh no, and all these boxes of stuff that we've hoarded, and then you open it up and you think, why did I keep this? And it's almost like an inability to do something about it at the time. So you just think, oh, I can't decide, so I'll just hoard it up there. And I am getting rid of so much stuff. And I think it's a real lesson. So when Gary's mum died, and he, you know, obviously was very upset, and he didn't want to go and clear out her flat, so I went and did it. And ultimately, in the end, all you really keep is photographs. Because everything else, you know, their shoes and their clothes. I mean, what are you going to do with that?
Maybe little tiny bits. Funny, if I'm just thinking about this, I've got stuff from my mum and dad, obviously. From my granny, I've got this horrible little ornament. And it is a horrible little ornament. But when I was a child, it was always the ornament that I played with at my granny's
But that's
house.
a small thing to keep to remind you of
and it just
her.
sits beside my fire, this horrible little ornament, but I'm so fond of it.
Is it horrible?
It's really quite horrible.
We've got one of those from Mark's nan, and it's this woman sat with loads of balloons, and it's just...
That's quite a famous ornament. We've got one of those as well.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But it sure will always be with us.
Yeah. Well, I know, but it's a little thing.
Yeah.
But you're still in the phase, aren't you?
I wish... I mean, it sounds really clean and, like, you know, it's like you're getting your life sorted by calling it... Yeah, that minimalist thing. And, you know, I know people have... What's it called? The gentle art of Swedish death cleaning. I mean, even the...
Gotta love the Swedes. Gotta love the Swedes.
They do everything
the
perfectly,
gentle art.
don't
I know,
they?
for me, I really find a lot of memories are treasured with the attachment of possessions. So there are so many things I think I just could never get rid of. Like, you know, my first ever, something I've got for my first job, or something that, you know, my mum gave me for my 18th birthday. It's like, I just couldn't just throw it in the bin.
But what do you do with it?
I just keep it aside, and
Where then?
however many memory boxes people have got. I mean, I have just got a memory box, and once it's
But
full,
you're not
I
looking
buy
at it,
another
are
box.
you? It's just in a box. You're not looking at it.
But wouldn't you think that maybe people down the line... I mean, this is
They
how
don't
people-
care.
No.
They not care. Do they not care?
They
No,
get a
they
great
don't
big
care.
skip and they just put it all in there.
No.
Do you think in a way, like, because if you're a bit of a hoarder, is it kind of like almost the fear of leaving everybody, so you want to leave something of you? Is that the
I think it's
idea?
this is your own stamp of who you were, and if you want to just start getting rid of it before you've died, it's like, oh, I don't want anyone to know who I was, and I'd like somebody to
But do you know
be
what I think? You're 10 years younger than us, more or less.
Right.
And I think you're just at a different stage of life. And I think when I was your age, I might have been saying the same things.
Really?
But I felt a real change over the last couple of years. And I'm joking about the flame floor, but not really. I just do look
You want
at
to be
lots
free. You want
of
to
the
be more
stuff
and more free.
And
that
I
I've
think
accumulated.
my thing is I want a lighter life.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't... Well, I feel very weighed down by stuff.
Yeah, I
And then the
agree.
glorious thing is that as your kids get older, so, like, you know, they buy their own houses, and then it's like, oh, well, Mum, I don't know what to do with that at the moment, so I'll just leave that here. No, you've got your own house now.
No, I know.
It's going
I
out.
feel you might be right, might be an Asian, because my dad only called me up a couple of months ago. We've got all these boxes in the garage of all your things from when you went travelling, and I was like, oh, don't throw anything away. I'll come back. I'll look through it. Don't throw it yet. And I went through it, and there was really nothing I wanted.
He's such a hoarder. In a way, I've got a flip thing, because Mark is always saying, you know his mad room. He's got this crazy room where he's got all his things that are just like... That is shelf after shelf with the most detailed, so much stuff in it. I think they can't actually show you the room because it's a bit naughty, some stuff. But everything in there has a story, and he's constantly dropping into conversation. When I've gone, be careful, because the shelf up on the right, there's multiple shelves. That in there's something really important in one of the books, and I'm like. It's just constant. This list is ever going on. And I'm just frightened that, like, oh, please God, but if he goes before me, I don't, I'm going to feel this pressure that I've got to have all these feelings about all these different things. And actually, it's just fear from him, I think it's just fear of dying.
Also, wouldn't you
fear of
not be
leaving.
really devastated if you went home today and you went, I've got rid of everything in that room, it's gone? Wouldn't you be like, oh, but that's you?
Yeah,
that's so much of you.
I think it was an imposter living in the house. It cannot happen. A hoarder can't do that.
But it's going to be interesting because you are so different to that, because you are not somebody who's all to possessions. So your temptation is going to be put it in black plastic bags.
Well, this is why he's so worried. This is why I keep saying it. Because my dad, you know, I come from Bedouin stock. Anything that you cannot carry in a small case you do not need. And I'm like that. My photographs would be my only things that I really need if I left
if
that.
you go into... you know, a care home for the elderly, at the end of your life, invariably, it comes down to one room. You've got your room and your bathroom, And it's basically who's in the picture frames.
Yeah.
That's what's important. Who comes through that door to visit you? All the clutter that you had in your life is not in that room with you.
I know. We're here to cheer you up on a Friday night. Still to come.
Right, down the pub.
Yeah. Keep hold of that flamethrower for 10 years for me, will you?
After Jack Whitehall revealed in a new podcast the pressures he felt to have children, we're debating whether it's okay to ask your kids to have kids of their own, to make you a grandparent. And with her thoughts on that and all of today's topics, Spring Watches, Michaela Strachan will be here talking everything from bird watching to blended families. We'll see you soon.
Michaela Strachan, you tore me apart. Michaela Strachan, you broke my heart when I was torn.
Our award-winning show is hitting the road as we swap the studio for the stage and bring our panel directly to you.
Oh, more drama than blooming Love Island, this, isn't it?
We'll be live across 16 spectacular nights this September in theatres across the UK. Join the Loose Woman for a night full of laughter.
You need to stand in front of the mirror.
Oh no!
Naked, right?
Hot topics.
We'll move on to snipping bushes now then, shall we?
Fun and surprises.
Who knows what you can do with those tentacles?
As we share our secrets and stories live and in person. You won't want to miss it. To join in the fun of the Loose Women Tour, go to the website.
Letting us loose.
I know. And I suspect we'll be saying that quite a lot. Janet! Yeah. Welcome back to your Friday Loose Women Live. Joining me, Kay Adams, for our last lunch date of the week. It's Sunetra Sarkar, Nadia Sawala and Jane Moore. And joining us a bit later, today's guest, Michaela Strachan. She is here ahead of a new series of Spring Watch and will be revealing her unusual secret to her long-lasting relationship with her partner. And speaking of happy partnerships, is the key to love being able to poke fun at your partner? We're going to be talking about that. Right now, though, is it ever okay to pressure your children into having children of their own? Comedian Jack Whitehall gave quite a tearful interview, actually, about the pressure that he felt to have children with his fiancée, Roxy, because he really wants his 83-year-old dad to be around to enjoy the baby.
I think that, yeah, I mean, that's why, oh God, I said I wasn't going to do this on this, and I mean, I'm now getting emotional. I wanted to have a baby because I wanted him to be around and to know my child and to spend time with my kid. I've seen how amazing he is with my niece. He's the most loving person ever. And so I want him to have a relationship with my kid.
It's a lovely piece, isn't it? I mean, there's nothing like new life to sort of just bring emotions that he clearly didn't anticipate coming up there. But it kind of sounds, Nadia, as if he's putting, not pressure on himself, but it's coming from him. It's not as if his father is putting pressure on him to have kids.
Actually, made me a bit sad, that, actually, because, I mean, we were all older mums, weren't we? I mean, I had my second child in my 40s, you know, and I've noticed more and more they're getting a bit anxious about that. Like, I'm 60 next year and they're like, don't want me to say it, and I'm thinking, I wonder if they are thinking how much, if we have children, when we're going to have them, how much will they know my mum and all of that. So I would never put pressure on them. I didn't have children with some sort of contract written out that if I have them, they have to provide grandchildren for me. I wouldn't do that. And I think people can be quite cruel without realising they are when they keep on saying to a person, when you're having a baby, because you can force somebody into something they're not ready for. And then even, like, very much in, you know, my dad is Middle Eastern, you know, in that culture, it can be, you have one, and as soon as you've had one, they go, when you're having another one. It just never stops. So I will never do that with my girls.
Do you ever have a conversation with them about it?
Yeah, I do, but I've changed over the years the way I talk. When they were little, I say, oh, when you grow up, when you have babies. But now it's like, if you do, if you're able to, if you want to, so there's all those options. But I do actually say to them as well, but our biology hasn't changed. The prime time physically to have babies is in your late teens, 20 years old. So you have to be mindful if you're thinking that, and especially because I was an older mum, they might think, oh, it'll be easy for me at 40. I was very lucky. And so I would probably say, you know, if you're getting to your early 30s, your late 20s, you're thinking about it, why not just see how many eggs you've got?
And look,
just in
fertility
case.
has dropped. I mean, talking about sperm counts in the West have dropped by nearly 60% in the last 40 years, and 1 in 7 couples has difficulty conceiving. So,
wow.
I mean, it is an issue, and so some people would go and have their fertility checked at an early age, or it might be something you would suggest. I would not suggest that to my girls, but, I mean, in the face of those facts...
If they were like 30 and say, "Oh yeah, I do want a baby at some time," would you not go? You know, it doesn't just happen. Doesn't just happen.
Well, would
for
you,
everybody.
Jane? I mean, Ellie's 30.
Yeah, well, I mean, I spent all of... When Ellie was young, I spent my whole time saying to her, you must have fun in your 20s. Don't even think about having children until you're in your 30s. And then, of course, now I'm like... and I mean, I would never say it outright, but I alluded to something the other day, which was something about children, and she just went, back off.
God, she's her mother's daughter.
She put me back in my box, and Grace has informed me at the grand age of 19 that she said, no, I'm never having children.
Everyone says that now.
But I'm hoping that changes.
Would you be sad if they didn't?
It's up to them, really. I don't really feel... you know, it would be great when it happens, or if it happens, but I don't feel... I always think you have to have a child when you are ready to have a child, when it's your life is ready. And actually, with Jack and Roxy, I think they've been together like 3 or 4 years anyway, so it's probably a natural... It's not like he's fast-forwarding and going, let's have it now because of my dad.
Yeah.
It would be a natural thing in their relationship anyway. So I think that is it. You just have to wait for the right time, and however much as a parent you want to be a grandparent, you're not... It's not your business.
And I think it's also for the grandchildren to come. The pleasure they get from having grandparents is that you want to be part of their lives rather than you want your child to have another child, isn't it? I'm so lucky that I did get to meet all 4 of my grandparents, but I know so many of my friends that didn't, and I kind of feel it. And my parents have been around for their grandkids, so I kind of know there is a joy that we're trying to... That's what Jack's trying to get at. But I've also got friends who we all feel like this freedom because our children are all about to go to university or a lot more older. And one of them, who has got older children, has just become a grandma, as she calls it, right? And she's not available for us anymore. She's just like... off the social calendar. She's like, no, I'm babysitting. So she's already got...
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? You just think you're about to be able to have a holiday whenever you want and do all these things, but then you...
Always some agreeing in the audience.
Yeah, I bet there's people here who understand
because
that
she wants to be, or because she feels...
She was very happy her daughter was having a child, but she didn't realise this had such a huge knock-on effect in her social calendar and her life. And she's she's an independent woman who's having a great life, and now she's had to go, oh... I've got to find X amount of days a week now to give you the help I need. And I think it can be quite a shock for women who've found
You're
their
making
new
us worried now. All those
adventure.
trips we've got planned to Spain.
I can see people nodding in the audience.
No, I'm still going. I'm going to be like that grandma in Motherland where the daughters actually shout, Mum, I know you're in there. Here are your grandchildren. I'm dropping them off.
And you're going to go, back off, back off.
My mum thought she was going to be like that. She wanted nothing to do with any of it. But then, of course, you end up being a big part of all of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Still to come, she is the #1 pin-up for Twitchers across the nation. Michaela Strachan talks birds, live broadcast and blended families. And is poking fun at your partner the best way to keep romance alive? That is all coming up after the break. Pleasing your partner is the key to everlasting love. I will explain what they're up to in a second. Don't worry about it.
She's in a lot of pain.
Michaela Strachan is going to be here with her take on all of today's topics. We're also going to talk about Monday's bumper bank holiday show. Ruth, Gloria, Linda and Jane will be sharing their loose advice, including what to do with cramp, because this has just happened in the break.
Bless her, she was just...
I get cramp all the time and I don't know what causes it.
Age.
No, it can't be that.
Great.
This is. You say that about everything. Oh, in 10 years you'll feel this as well. It's like, that can't be. That is a really
agony.
Agony.
Well, listen, if you have got cramp, or a parenting problem, a dating dilemma, or just an embarrassing encounter that you would like to share with us, we'd love to hear from you. You can get in touch using our social media pages, and we could be reading out your dilemma on Monday's show. And you have just shared your embarrassing encounter with us. Thank you for that. Now, we all love a joke on this panel, but is it... That was embarrassing.
Oh, that was it?
That was embarrassing.
I'd done something else.
No, you thought that was normal. No, that was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
What have I done?
Yeah.
It's worked, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Ooh.
gone. Yeah, what you have to do is you have to go in the opposite way you want to.
She's the cramp whisperer. Now, is it healthy to take the mickey out of your nearest and dearest? According to boffins, not used that word for a while, poking fun at your partner every day is the secret to a happy relationship. And Nadia, this is right up your street. Noticed this on your social media the other day. Let's have a little look.
Was this poor Mark?
Why do I get so much joy from watching him? How's it going, babe? Huh? Are you counting your washers?
Oh my God, he just went, and then eventually went, this here, this, and it was this tiny
What was it he's trying to build?
Oh, it was a lawnmower. It was hours, honestly.
Oh, gosh.
To be honest, if I was him, I'd be furious at you.
Why? Would you?
I
Well, he
would.
was. That's why they beeped it. It was a lot
I'm with
swearing.
Mark. I'm with Mark.
Would you be
on
like,
this one.
if you're so funny, you
I
get
would.
out here and do it?
I would go full into that.
I
would
think
go
he did
full
say
into
that.
Oh, did he? Good.
Get inside, get inside, get inside. But actually, we grew up with my dad always saying, you know, unless you can really take the pee out of each other every day, your marriage will fail. And that was one thing. And the other thing was, you must have at least one good belly laugh a day. And it kind of haunted me, that. I was always thinking, oh, I've got to have a
Great
belly.
advice. I think
But
that's
it is
great
good advice because it just takes the pressure out.
Yeah, and it means you're still engaged in each other's life. You know, you are actually interested in each other. People who don't take the mickey out of each other are probably so disinterested in each other they don't think. I mean, Scott and I have got a lot of... It's almost like a competition of who can take the pee out of each other first. Like, the other day, I was just cleaning the sink, and I watched a tutorial on how to actually take apart the sink plug and all this, and I gave myself a big pat on the back, and I texted him, I said, I just did this. And he's like, well, they're building a statue, apparently. The mayor's sending a message to you. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, but that's kind of hot, isn't it? You know, like...
Well, someone building a statue.
No, him
Do you
being
think that's
really
flirting,
quick.
really?
Yeah, because it's kind of quick. He's like right back at
well,
you.
that's
It's like,
maybe- yeah.
he's not going,
I couldn't be with anybody earnest. You know, where they don't really
It's a
have...
nice name.
One of my favourite...
It's better than
What's wrong with
people-
E-A-R.
I know.
When one of my favourite things is just like, maybe if you're on holiday and you're sitting in a cafe, you know, with a little glass of wine or two, and you're watching the world go by, you know, and you might kind of go, and they can't hear you, like a complete stranger walking past, and you might go, what was she thinking when she brought that top?
Yeah.
Or whatever, and then you take the mickey out of that person. If somebody's going, oh, well, come on, you don't know, you know, her mum might have bought it for her. It's like, oh,
My
have a
dad was
laugh.
like that, I have to say.
I'm a bit like that.
He
I'm a bit
was.
like that because you don't know what might have happened
I know.
yesterday. You know, I'm terrible like that. But I do think that if there's a line, and if you cross it too much, I definitely got to a point, I think Mark and I did, where we were doing it a bit too much, because then you start tipping into brother and sister kind of.
Yeah.
Where
Squabbling.
everything is up for a jibe, you know, and I think that's
Something should be precious, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, you've got to know where the
And
sensitivities
it's
are.
also about which family you come from. If your family's used to doing that with you, you bring it with you, don't you, in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Michaela Strachan is here next. It is competition time again, though, and your chance to win a life-changing £110,000. Jean Johansson has all the details.
Welcome to beautiful Loch Lomond, where I've got details of a huge cash prize that will truly kickstart your summer. This week you have another chance to win an enormous £110,000 in totally tax-free cash, which could be in your account in time for summer. Real people win all of our competitions on ITV, and over the past 12 months we've made 426 winners and given away over £6.8 million. Hey, the next winner could be you. For another chance to win, text cash to 88333. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. Go to the website, entries cost £2. Call 09068 78 3333. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY18 PO Box 7 558 Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines close on Friday the 9th of June at 3 p.m.
A stunning location for a stunning prize. It's as simple as that. Good luck.
It's time now for today's guest, a woman who's as well known for her stylish anoraks as she is for encyclopedic knowledge of the great outdoors. Springwatch returns to our screens on Monday night, fronted, as always, by the brilliant Michaela Strachan. And here she is.
I had an anorak on. I'm really sorry. I should have been styling my anorak, but I made an effort.
To be honest, if I had those arms, I wouldn't be wearing an anorak.
Yeah, I'd be getting them out.
I'd be getting those guns out 100%. You look so fit. We were just talking there about, you know, that kind of ribbon with your partner and stuff. Do you do that with your partner?
All the time. I mean, literally all the time. But when I tell you, I mean, my partner is so forgetful. And one day my son said, why did your mum never get married? And he said, aren't we? How can you not take the mickey out of someone that can't remember whether they got married or not? That's a good one. Classic.
You do spend a lot of time apart, maybe not quite that much, but because you're both sort of doing different things, aren't you?
We do, and I think that's part of our secret, I think.
Yeah?
I mean, we've been together 20 years.
Separate continents.
But, you know, probably about 10 of those together. But, yeah, I think that is really good when you can separate, particularly if you're very independent people. Some people need each other all the time. I'm not one of those. You know, I need my independence and I need my own life, and so does he, so it works really well.
Yeah.
And you have a blended family, don't you? Because you've brought both of your children to the same sort of family.
Not both children, because I didn't have children when I met him.
OK, sorry.
He was a widow, so he had 3 children, and then we had one together. And I think that's the secret. When you have one together, that blends you as a family.
Exactly. Completes the circle, doesn't it?
It really does. And so, you know, we've become, instead of them and me, it did become us as a family. And we're a great blended family.
Big thing to take on, though, isn't it, for you?
I know, I look back, I think, what were you thinking?
Well, I'm sure it's great, but... Yeah.
I remember going around the supermarket. I mean, they were twins of, of 11 and a daughter of 13 at the time. I mean, now they're in their 30s. And I remember going around the supermarket thinking, what do you buy? What food do you buy? I came from a selfish life, you know, where I just looked after myself. And I went round and I was actually crying in the supermarket thinking, I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know how this is going to work.
Wow. Oh, God, to go from leading a very independent single life.
I was actually married before, so we were a couple, to be fair. But yeah, it was a very sort of it was just us, and we were in the telly life, and so we were in hotels and eating out all the time. So to go from that to actually having a family was a massive.
And I'm talking about telly life. So Springwatch is still going strong. I'm baffled. Why did they axe Autumn Watch? What was the thinking behind that?
I think it's all to do with budget, unfortunately.
Yeah,
it's all to do with budget. And, you know, if you think what the BBC have put on this year, there's been a lot of expense.
But actually, people loved that show. Well, they love both shows.
I think we have to be realistic. Is, you know, less people are buying the licence. There's more choice of what to watch. Budgets have got smaller. And we were given a choice, well, the production was given a choice of either cutting the budget back on everything or getting rid of one of them. Right. And I think they made the right decision. Yeah. Because Springwatch, which starts on Monday, really looking forward to it, is at the heart of the watches. And, you know, that's the season that I love best. Yeah. You know, because we can really get into the stories of the wildlife. And I love the science, but I mean, look, this is the sort of thing we do. I mean, I think this needs some explaining, doesn't it?
We've seen it a number of times now. What is going on?
We were actually demonstrating how a spittlebug sort of, am I allowed to say fart? Well, he farts bubbles out the butt.
Oh, how lovely.
To then make a big bubble that then it cocoons itself in. So
you do that?
It's the sort of thing a lot of people do in the bath, apparently.
A lot of people do it in the bath?
What, not cocoon themselves?
Oh, all right.
No, not cocoon.
Oh, that kind find
It has been one of those shows, hasn't it? I was just wondering, I mean, post-COVID, you know, when we were all doing our walk, etc., and people, you know, were outdoors because there was nothing else to do. Do you think it has kind of sparked a greater appreciation of spending time outside and just being aware of nature?
COVID definitely reignited people's passion for wildlife on their patch because people were spending so much more time on their own patch and also taking notice. You know, people weren't getting the bus and the tube and things, they were walking and then they would notice the seasons changing and they would appreciate what's around them. And I think as well, in a time during COVID when there was so much uncertainty and so much fear, people really took comfort in what was in their own garden. And we all know that it's great for your mental health to be outdoors. And I think people really recognised that during COVID. And so
it was like being almost a newborn baby at some points, you know, that first lockdown. And you'd come out, because I live somewhere very trafficky, and there was no sound. It'd be like...
Yeah.
I mean, listen to this.
Yeah.
Birds.
Just
we
listen.
could all hear birds for the first
You
time in a way
could.
that we hadn't before. I remember that from
And there were so many articles, weren't there, that said, are they just louder? No, they're not louder, we're quieter.
Yeah, that's right.
And so we notice it more.
I remember saving my first bee and feeling like I was Florence Nightingale. And it was because I'd had time.
Yeah.
You know, I might have gone, oh, there's a bee. OK, well, and there was this bee and I'd seen it somewhere because there was nothing else to do, that you'd give them water and sugar and this bee came back to life. Honestly, it was magical.
So now you're the cramp whisperer and the bee whisperer.
I know,
Many talents.
You want to be my mate?
I'm presuming as a nature girl, you like a bit of dirt.
I wondered what you were going to say. I think everyone. I think if you've got kids, if they come home really dirty, you know they've had a good day. I'm not the sort of mother that looks at a child and thinks, oh, get them washed.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you've had a great day. You've got down, you got dirty, you're in the mud. Brilliant.
Good for your gut.
Yeah. So would you like to reveal any secrets to us in terms of what were we talking about?
Oh, yeah, tell us that. You remember that story about when you accidentally didn't wash your hands?
Oh, yeah, I've learned to wash my hands. I mean, I'm not fastidious about washing hands and things. I think we're way too clean, all of us. And
Marvellous.
I come from a country that went through a major drought. And so we learned to, you know, only have a shower every 3 days. And sorry, girls, but that's sort of stuck.
It's skin oil. A bad thing.
But I was filming in a zoo and I didn't wash my hands properly before I ate a sandwich. This was quite a while ago. And I ended up with a worm under my skin.
What a way to end the show. That's what you call a cliffhanger. Michaela, thank you so much. The best end ever. Next week, Emmerdale's Susan Cookson and Johnny McPherson, presenter Steve Jones and pop icon Natasha Bedingfield. Have a great bank holiday weekend. We'll see you at 12:30 on Monday for a bumper show.